We give thanks to the name of the Lord. The topic for today's teaching, we are moving on to the consciousness of the spirit. Yesterday we treated the body of man in the prophetic, and we started from the spirit of man, soul of man, and the body of man. Where we discussed under the spirit of man, we discussed the intuition, communion, and conscience. Then under the soul, we discuss will, emotion, and mind. Then under the body, we discuss flesh, water, and blood. I want you to just stick to that. Those 9 things I mentioned, 3 from each. Let it be in your right hand, like the Yoruba proverb says. Put it on your left hand. Thank you. On your left hand, so you don't joke it away. So today we are moving to the consciousness of the spirit. And when we are talking about consciousness of the spirit, it is a very big topic that it says a lot, and one must not miss. Because when we are talking about consciousness of the spirit, it is you being conscious of your spirit being. Hope you understand me. Yes, you being conscious. We've already treated the spirit, the soul, and the body. But when it comes to the prophetic, the stream, and when I'm talking about stream, the source where it is coming from is the spirit. So definitely you must be conscious of that spirit. And when we're talking about conscious, you must believe that there is God. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say there is you must believe that there is a spirit. The reason I mentioned God is like God's consciousness. Like for you to know you are God's conscious, then definitely you have believed that there is God and He dwells one place. Are you getting? That's God's consciousness. But when it comes to spirit consciousness, which we are treating today, the consciousness of the spirit. The simple meaning to it is you being conscious of your spirit being. Like I said earlier, I said this topic is a very crucial one that if you're not listen attentively, you may not get it. And when I'm talking about this attentively, it's not just you watching me and hearing, but you watching with the whole of your spirit, soul, and body, and ensuring that you are understanding everything I'm saying. Because I thank God for my life, I don't teach with code like teaching and you don't understand. I teach with the simplest English that everybody can understand. You knowing that there is one part of me that is spiritual. That's the consciousness of the spirit. You knowing that there is one part of you that is spiritual. When it comes to hearing from the word from the Lord, your spirit is what God interacts with. God don't talk to this your body that is there. Are you understanding me? God speaks to one part of you, which is the spirit, and this is not the spirit. Now you receiving it from your spirit to your soul to your body. There's a day we will talk on that, the mechanism of receiving from God. It is one of the topic. God speaks to your spirit. Now your spirit will speak to your mind in the way your body will understand. I hope you understand me. That is when you will notice that you dreamt, and when you dream, you saw snake. Because in your mind, it is already programmed that snake means corny things, something that is not true. If you see some kind of bird in your dream, you will know that this is witchcraft. Meanwhile, when God is speaking to your spirit, God did not speak about bird. But now for your spirit to make you understand it, it will not give your soul in your own language. Now when your body now sees it on the screen of your mind, you will now understand it. That's something I just said now. If you understand what I just mean there now, that's what receiving from God all has to do with. The moment God is speaking, God don't speak to your body here. He speaks to that part of you, the spirit. Now your spirit communicates it to your soul in a way, because in your soul is where the memory is. In a way you will understand, and then your body will not see, and then you not see the Lord has spoken to you. So most of the time when we see visions, majorly seers, when they see visions, they will see it in a kind of way that if another person sees it, the person may not understand it. But there is a way your soul, your spirit will relate it to your soul that you'll be able to understand it. The moment I sleep and I'm dreaming, and in that dream, I saw that I'm teaching other people. Immediately when you wake up, you will know that, okay, there is something that has to do with teaching in my life. That's a way you saw it. That's a way your own mind can interpret it. It is not like that's what God said actually in the first place. What God just said in the first place is, I want you to start teaching. It might be that's what God is saying. It might be that the Lord is trying to tell you that you have the gift of teaching. Are you getting? But now the way your soul reflects it to you has to do with how. But when you are not conscious of the spirit, you will not know these things. And I've already said it earlier. Being conscious of the spirit, the consciousness of the spirit is you knowing that there is a part of me that is spirit. As a believer, you should not only believe that this is just you. You should not just believe that this is me, but this is everything about me. No, you are 3 in 1. 3. You have your spirit, soul, and body. And when we are talking about spirit, that's the one you cannot see. That's the one that dwells, that interacts with the spiritual realm. And we have our soul. Your soul is your personality. Your soul is that your part that you cannot see, but it is physical. You can actually see the result. Things like when you are angry, it is not just your body that is angry. You are able to show that anger out through your body, but the entity that is really angry is your soul. That's why you can just be going and just have mood swing, just because of what occurred. It's not your body. What is your body? This is your whole body. Your body is just this physical flesh you are seeing, with no capability to do anything. Being conscious of the spirit is you knowing that I have a spirit, and what is now the essence of that spirit that they now put that spirit inside this body, and now you are now here in FBI, Federal Polytechnic of Ilaro. That's being conscious of the spirit. It is when you are conscious of the spirit, that's when you will know what you are being sent to this world to come and do. Are you following? Yes. The consciousness of the spirit refers to us being able to tap back into the essence of our spirit. And when I'm talking about essence of our spirit, the reason why you are sent, I've actually been here before. The reason why you are sent to this world is of no reason why they will just give birth to you, and you are just here just passing through everything, and you think it's not for a reason. Definitely there is something, there is one essence. We always call it consciousness. When you are conscious that God, you created me. Some people, when they were very little, they will be like, when I was little, I do notice that I say things and it comes to pass. One, that's some set of people. Some people, they will say, when I was small, I always say some things, but when I grow up, I'm not more saying it again. When I say things, it happens. When I grow up, it doesn't happen again. That's because you are gradually losing the consciousness of your ability. But the moment you are able to tap back into it, quote me anyway, you begin to see it again in your life. Some people, they will say, when I dream, it comes to pass. But recently, I don't even dream again. It started from me dreaming, sometimes 2 days, only 3 days, 3 days, every 4 days. And before you know, they are not more dreaming. That's because they lost the consciousness of that ability. So now, for you to tap back into that, that's the spirit in you. It's the owner of that ability. Anything that has to do with supernatural, your body doesn't have anything. Your body is just made from, like I said yesterday, made from blood, and we go back to the floor, the dust. But anything that has to do with supernatural that you are showing out is coming from the spirit. And now, for you to showcase them, you must be consciousness. You must be conscious of the spirit. You must have that consciousness in you that there is one spirit. The moment you have the consciousness that yes, I'm 3 in 1, I have a spirit, that moment you begin to notice there are differences in your life. The way you act, the way you speak, the way you bring out results. I'm not talking about school results. Like the way you bring out things will be different. The way you study Bible will be different, because that is when you know that when you are reading the word of God, is not helping this body. You are only edifying that spirit. When you are reading it to this body here, you are just like reading storybook. Are you with me? But it is when you are conscious of the spirit, that is when you know that when you are reading it, it is edifying one guy, which is the spirit. And the moment you just be like, there was a brother of mine from last year, I gave him, read the book of Luke. I think I gave him one other verse, just that 2 books. Read it. Even though I was not able to get some feedback from him. But when you just notice that, okay, I just take this part of the book of the Bible and I read it, before you know it, you begin to see changes in some things. I said something yesterday. I said, if you give yourself to prayer, I gave us limit of 45 minutes, as minimum of 45 minutes. There's no how you are doing that thing for 7 days consecutively. Your dream life will not change. It must change. Because that thing you are doing is spiritual, and definitely you must engage with the spirit. Majorly when you do it before you go and sleep, because the moment you are praying, your spirit being is active, and you now go and sleep like that. Immediately you go into your sleep, immediately your spirit is active. So anything that you begin to operate when you are asleep is your spirit. Are you following me? So I don't know, being conscious and you knowing that there is one person somewhere who is the spirit, that will help. And when we are conscious of this being of us, which is spiritual, that's when you begin to take your prayer life serious. That's when you begin to take your Bible reading life serious. Meditating. Thinking on whom God himself is. Have you ever sit down and just think like, who is God? Have you ever sit down and be like, this trinity of a thing, that everybody is just getting confused. Some will say it's 3 in 1. Some will say it's 1 in 3. Have you ever sit down and be like, who is God the Father? Who is God the Son? Who is God the Holy Spirit? That's meditation. And when you begin to meditate on it, ponder on it, you just begin to notice that that realm is opening to you. Before you know it, such set of people, that's how you begin to dwell in the CRM. What is CRM? Those that sees vision. Once you are able to meditate on who God is, and you are gaining results, because when you are meditating, you are knocking on a door. You are knocking on a realm that this thing open up. And before you know it, when you begin to do it, maybe times, and you are consistent with it, one day the door will just open. I just begin to catch that. You'll be like, oh, this thing happened, this is it. And before you know it, such set of people, they begin to operate in the prophetic. That's one of the best way to tap into the prophetic realm. Maybe you have prayed. Father Lord, the spirit of prophecy, let's come. I want to be here. I just want to. That's one of the arc into it. We also have another arc, intercessor. When you begin to pray for other people, forget about yourself. For good 7 days, be praying for people. Father Lord, this person do this. Father Lord, what was wrong with this person? Like, Father Lord, provide for him. Do it 7 days. That was the cheat I used personally. Then I'll begin to pray on people. I just forget about myself. I even created a group, the intercessors, prophetic intercessors. Even when we are not yet prophetic, but we are praying for others, praying for people. Before I know it, those people I'm praying for, the Lord begin to show me that this is the reason why such thing is happening to this person. And that's why it's very easy for me now to pray on someone's matter, and the Lord will talk to me on that person. It is when you are conscious that there is one spirit somewhere that can speak to. See, when you see some people, I don't know, maybe you have been deceived, you say, I just heard it right now. The Lord said He's doing this thing tomorrow. Do you think God spoke to your ear yet? No. Even audible voice that we always claim that there's still one voice that's audible. That audible voice, you didn't hear it with this ear. There is, quote me anywhere, God can never speak to this your body. He speaks to the spirit. We have different kind of levels of hearing. We have the thoughts, we have the inner voice, we have the audible voice. I think there's still a topic that still deals with that in this our curriculum, and we'll talk about that in the nearest future. But you have to be conscious of the spirit. And as I was saying earlier, I said God don't speak to this our body. It is that spirit that God speaks to. This is the reason why I said this topic is very important than any other topic in this thing. Because most especially, it's not really talking about prophetic alone. It's talking about every general line that has to do with calling. You must be conscious. Just sit down. This is how to start being conscious of your spirit. Sit down 15 minutes. My own method, I don't say you should use it if you are good with it. Some people, most especially, they always tell people that when you want to meditate, don't listen to anything. So go to a silent area where there is no noise. And the best time is midnight, because you cannot sit out in the day here, majorly in this kind of setting here. It is you being conscious of who your spirit is. Then you will sit down. I was talking about meditation. The way I always use, I'll use my earpiece or headset, then play instrumental. So when I play instrumental, I sit down there, silence my mind, silence every thought, and I just begin to look inside of me. I am spiritual. That's how I always say it. Inside your mind, there is a part of me that is a spirit. I have this soul, and here is my body. The two of them reside in this body. I have a greater calling. I am called by God. I can do this. I can do that. That's affirmation through meditation. And before you know it, that part of you that is spiritual, that spirit will begin to awake. Because now you are already strengthening it, you are already awakening it. You are already letting it know that, okay, I know that you are somewhere there, yes. That one of the best things you always notice when your spirit being is active is dream life. Once you begin to see that your dream life is awoken, it might not be even prophetic, but when you begin to notice you are dreaming, and you know that this dream you are dreaming has meanings, that's one of the key signs that your spirit is active. So you must be conscious that my spirit is somewhere. What I said just made me remember what I said somewhere ago last year, where I was telling some set of people that they are just praying, their spirit is somewhere else. Like their spirit is far gone from them. Like when I'm talking about far gone from them, in the sense that even their body is not able to locate their spirit. It's not like it went far. What I mean by not locate is the fact that they are not in talking terms. Your body and your spirit are not in talking terms. When your body is being governing itself, it's governing itself, like controlling itself. Okay, this is what I want, and you just go for it. You forget that there's one part of it that is spirit, and you just leave the guy. I don't know, maybe you have already seen a kind of where they taught you about the spirit and body, where the body is fat, you have feed it very well. You have eaten morning, afternoon, and 3 square meal, you don't miss it. Now the body is fat, meanwhile your spirit is somewhere, just slim. How will it talk? That's when you say, I hear something, that thing start telling me, I missed it, and this thing, and it's like my mind is telling me that, but I don't even hear. It is because of this guy is thin, the spirit is thin. I didn't mean the spirit is in control. It will tell you, if you did not listen, to come again to tell you that I'm telling you this thing, don't you hear? But when it is not energized enough, when you are not conscious, fasting is not enough. Praying is not enough. Meditation is not enough. It is the combination of everything that makes it. But the lead of everything is consciousness. And when I'm talking about consciousness, you know Him, you believe Him, that I have a spirit that can interact with God. And it shall come to pass, and now it is, when the true worshipper shall worship God in spirit and in truth. It was a statement that was said to a woman who was saying that we will go to Jerusalem, we'll go to pray, we'll go to church to pray. But the Lord is trying to tell them that the time is coming that you don't need to go to church before you see God. You can just stay somewhere and just close your eyes, and immediately you are in the spirit. That's consciousness of the spirit. It's very easy to do, but it only takes time, consistency before you can do it. That you just stay like this and close your eyes. Some don't even close their eyes, where it gets easy for them. But people like me, I close my eyes not to lose focus. Closing my eyes, highest 2 minutes, I'm not more here again. That's spiritual consciousness. To hear our school here, the school of the prophet, how to hear the voice of God. To do that, you must be spiritual conscious. Being conscious of whom we are in the spirit and what we stand for. What do you stand for? Did any of us know what to stand for in the heaven? So when you just see me just come, I just say, yes, I'm a man of God. I can. Some people, that's not even what they stand for, but they're only just saying that of confidence. But when you know your real stand, when we're talking about you knowing your real stand, you knowing what your capability. Okay, I know that this is the kind of thing God can use me for. And this one, if I go there, I just trespass. There are some set of people, they are not even sent to raise the dead. But you see them, they will go there, they want to raise the dead, and before you know, they disgrace themselves and not even God. But it is when you know your stand that you know that, okay, this is what I can easily speak to this. You demon, get out. For some people, it's very easy. But for some people, that's not. They are not even sent to do that. Generally, the Bible might say we are sent to the world, heal them and cast out everything. But still yet, we all have our stands. If you are able to know your stand, that's when you have spiritual conscious. And to do all these things is very easy. Just be conscious of who that spirit is. Some people say, how do I know my talent? That question sometimes, I'm very sorry, with every humbleness in my heart, it looks stupid to me. How do you know you have talent? It is when you are conscious that, okay, I have one talent, now I want to know it. Give it a few days, you'll begin to see yourself doing it. How do you know what you are called for by God? Just put yourself in that position that, okay, there is one time I was in heaven and the Lord told me that you go into the world, go and do so, but now I don't know that so. How do I know it? When you begin to think every time before you go and sleep, what did God say me to do? You are just trying to imagine that, okay, I'm standing before God some time ago and I did not know it. That's conscious. Before you know it, you begin to see it manifesting in your dream life. Sometimes when not even being your dream life, you might begin to notice it happen. You just speak this thing and it occurs. You just notice that you can just pray for the sick and it happens. You just notice you just said this and so your friend now came back to tell you that what you said yesterday actually happened. That will know it. Many are called, but only few are chosen. I always made that statement very well. I think it's in the book of, I don't even know, Matthew or Romans, sorry, I don't know. It says, many are called, but few are chosen. Everybody in the world, goes me anywhere, we are all called by God because we are sent by Him. But few are chosen. And when we are talking about the chosen few, these are those that are able to rise up to the consciousness of whom they are. People like we here, we are able to stand that, okay, we are not normal. We are not just like normal people, like we are just in the world here and just born to eat, go to school, start career life, and just give birth, have family, and go die. No, it's when you have been able to rise to the consciousness that I'm here for a purpose, then you become the few chosen. Everybody, we are all called into one thing or the other. But it is when you're able to tap into it, that's when you be conscious of whom you are. When we are born, we became half woman, half spirit. The moment you are born, you become half woman, half spirit. That's why it is very easy for you to manifest some supernatural things when you are a kid. Not it though. Every one of you here, you will give birth. That's one of the things you should train your child in. When you give birth to your child, try to notice that spirituality in them. That something that has to do with supernatural about them. You will see it. Like this child is. Because that moment you are born, when you are still fresh in this world, you are not beginning to learn the culture of the world. That half spirit, half human will still be there. But when you begin to grow, as time goes on, with age, we become full human being. Now you are now full of flesh. You don't even have any consciousness of anything. Every one of us here, we all have guardian angels. But still yet, we have seen them before when we were kids. We have all seen them before when we were kids. But now, how many times have you seen your guardian angel now? How many times have you even communicated with him? Yet, they are somewhere. That's when I'm talking about the consciousness. When we are born as half human, half body. But the moment with age, as you are learning the culture, as you are learning ABC, A for apple, B for ball. Okay, this is how human beings do. Human beings are full of disappointment. Human beings are full of betrayal. This set of people, there is what we call mommy water. When you are learning those stuff, you begin to lose the consciousness of that essence, of that divine power about you. I made an example of a cutlass that is bought new, sharp mouth. But the moment you are using it to scrape the ground, scrap everywhere, cut bush, do everything, the face begins to become blunt. That's how we humans are. When we are born, we become half spirit, half human. But as time goes on, with age, we become full human, forgetting every traces of our divine being. God, I don't know why this topic is energizing, because this is one of the topics I love to treat most. You being able to identify whom you are, that's connecting you back to the spring of life where you come from. In every of our way, we must be able to be conscious. See, this is an assignment for every one of you. Try to find out your essence. I've already spoken in many ways how you can do that. Meditation, you being conscious, just sit down every day, be doing that thing. Don't do it once in a day, do it at least 3 times in a day. If you wake up in the morning, the best time to do it before you go to sleep, and immediately you wake up, and maybe when you are seeing yourself that you are just in a leisure time, or when you want to sleep in the afternoon, sit down. You can start with just 15 minutes. Close your eyes. Avoid any noise. Don't let your mind wander. Though your mind will try to be thinking something, but just make sure that you are thinking about your spirit. You should just be trying to think like I am praying for someone and the person received healing. Like I'm speaking to God.